Okay, so here we go. We're doing our sump pump inspection. There's just a few things that I want to kind of point out when we get into these drainage systems. One of the things is that we want to see an actual legitimate sump basin, and that's what this is. The other thing we want to see is we want to see to make sure that there's actually drainage pipe, which we do see. All right, now typically that pipe is supposed to be wrapped in typically it's a landscape fabric, right? And we do that so we don't have mud, which is kind of what we see here, right? We don't want to see that mud coming down into our sump basin. That tends to create an issue as time goes on, where the mud can actually block the bottom of the sump pump itself. At the bottom of this sump pump here, at the bottom underneath here, there's actually an impeller that can get blocked. And then the sump pump won't work and you won't know that's not working. One of the other things that we're looking for is the height from the drainage pipe here to the top here, right? When these are installed, you should have a minimum of 4 inches of concrete. And the reason is less than that, if you have less than that, it will end up cracking, right? And then you have cracked concrete, which the job should be done appropriately. You should have that full 4 inches of concrete there. One of the other things that we're looking at is that there is actually dimple board installed. This is appropriate and this is normal the way this is actually installed, right? And so you have your dimples. It's the drainage map, but a lot of times in the field it's called dimple board, specifically because of these dimples. Now they serve a purpose, and what that purpose is that so that when there is, or rather if and when there is actually water that migrates through this foundation wall, right, it actually travels down behind the dimple board, and then it actually comes under that and then into that drainage pipe, which should have either be corrugated or it should have holes, you know, drilled into the top of the pipe. And we can actually show you a little bit later what that would look like. But the reason is that way all the water that migrates down through is then collected from the drainage pipe and then comes into your sump basin. So those are a few of the things that we're looking for. We want to look when we're inspecting the sump pump. One of the things that we're looking for is that there's actually a check valve, and that's what this is. And it makes it so that any water, once it's pumped out, this check valve operates and then it doesn't flow back down into the sump basin. So this is the basics of our sump pump tile drain system.